This is Spencer Colgan. Welcome to my Wallpaper television show. I did a previous video on this particular installation where I showed you how to lay down seams over texture. Simple enough. And now I came to a point at which I discovered the second sheet in a row is misaligning midway down from the top to the bottom. And so I could not do a video when I experienced the first issue, which was resolved. So now I'm doing one so that you can see what you do if your wallpaper misaligns. Now there are three general reasons why your wallpaper will misalign. The first of them is that your wallpaper installer doesn't know what he's doing. In this case, that's absolutely out of the question. Secondly, the other problem could be the manufacturer. A, the run of the wallpaper roll you're using doesn't match the rest of them. And so if that's not the issue, it could simply be an error caused by manufacturing defect, which is rare, but it happens. And the third issue can be the wall. And what happens with the wall sometimes is that it's bowed so badly, meaning it has a belly. If you look at anybody who has a big belly, you'll see that the person's shirt has to travel a lot more real estate, so to speak, in order to cover the belly, and then it's shorter at the waist than if it would be compared to the same person, same height, who's wearing the same shirt. You'll see that the shirt falls at a different length on each person, although they're the same height, okay? That's the idea. Picture a belly on the wall that's imperceptible to the eye, but if you can imagine it, a bunch of waves on an 11-foot wall will take up real estate of wallpaper, and you'll have a misalignment. Okay, that can happen. Now, what do you do when you have a misalignment? And the fourth reason would be attributable to the wall, and that's in a corner. If your corner is not plumb, your wallpaper will misalign. And I had a customer who didn't believe that, but it happens to be nevertheless the truth. You just take a steel square, put it in the corner. If the sides are not touching, your wall is out of plumb. Take the measurements at 4 different points of the wall. If it's happening all over the place, you can expect a misalignment in your corner. But that's not what we're dealing with here. This is a misalignment attributable to the wall, okay? We have a texture. It might be a little heavier at the top. So I'm off 3/16 of an inch, and I want to show you what to do. So I'm meeting up here. Everything is perfect up here, but when I got down here, I'm starting to misalign. And so what do you do? What do you do? Do you just let it misalign? That's not good. You may be stuck with a misalignment, but I'm going to show you what a professional will do in order to cope with the issue. Now, before the video began, I was off almost 3/16 of an inch, so I want to show you what to do. Test your wallpaper. If it doesn't stretch, this is going to be very difficult to do, but if there's give in your wallpaper, this will work. So make your wallpaper meet. Just despite the fact that you're going to get a buckle. This is a buckle. You see this? What do you do with this buckle? We can't just flatten this out. If I flatten it out, I'm going to put a violent wrinkle in it, and then I'm going to need either a heat gun or a heat gun or a torch to get it out. Now I can't use a torch on this because it's not all vinyl, so I would have to use a heat gun if it even came out. But we don't want to go there. So you're going to make a buckle in it because the buckle is because you're making it align here, and so you have a buckle because you threw the paper off, you threw the pattern off. So what do? You're going to disperse this material, this volume, out like this. You can't do it straight out because you'll have a wrinkle right in the center. But if you take this and wet it, and make sure your hands have a little traction on them. They can't be soaking wet. They can't be that dry. They have to be just drying. And then you stretch it out, and you see how now I'm dispersing that wrinkle? I'm pushing it down and up this way, not straight. And you want to make the top and the bottom share the volume of paper in order to minimize the misalignment on the next sheet. Okay, you see the buckle I got going on here? So it's a lot of work going on here. As long as you can get the edges down and you have little wrinkles, you've won. Okay, watch this. So we pushed it upward. See how it's laying down? You see all the wrinkles now being caused by this buckle? Remember, your hands have to have some friction going on. You want to wet it, smooth it out, do whatever you got to do to lay those. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. There's a violent wrinkle here. You see that? So now I got to pull that down, spread it out with my fingers. Okay? And that's not even out yet. It's a lot of work to get this thing out. Don't panic over it, because when you do, you lost. You lost the whole game. Okay. Remember, it's just a matter of finessing the paper. I'm pushing the glue around. I'm getting that glue under those wrinkles so that I can re-lubricate them and make them slide into place. You're just playing with the paper, trying to get this all laid down. Come back down here. Can't let anything too long. I'm gonna pull this back off because it's not fully stuck yet. Okay, this is now aligning down here. Okay, you get the idea. You're going to just radius motion with the arm, because you're dispersing the volume that's wrinkled. You're trying to send it in different directions so that your sheet, your wall shares the misalignment, and that it's not manifested where you can see it. You see, if you really examine the paper, it's no longer square. Once you have a misalignment, square meaning completely parallel from this side to this side, from the top to the bottom, that no longer exists because you're dispersing this misalignment. So I got a little more paper sticking out, a 64th of an inch here, an 1/8 of an inch here, but you can't see it with your eye. So you know once you do that, you're going to be misaligned on the next sheet. But as long as you spread that misalignment out, you're good. It doesn't matter. You can't see it. That's the name of the game. Wallpaper hangers aren't magicians. What they do is they learn to cope with the common problems of discoloration in wallpaper, misalignment in wallpaper, and, you know, it's just part of the game. But the homeowner, they don't see it. It looks perfect. But the wallpaper hanger knows that it was just a matter of finessing the paper and working it to where you can't see the problem. And that's how you do it. Okay. So now I'm all aligned here. Even though I was off 3/16 of an inch on the second consecutive sheet. So there you have it. I'm good here. I still got a wrinkle up top I got to deal with. It takes a lot of energy to do this. Okay? So, but we come a long way with this sheet. Believe me, it was off. And now I want to show you one other trick here. Sometimes your seam is overlapping a hair and it won't lay down. It won't lay down. Here's what I want you to do. Take your hand that's fully dry, that has a little stick on it, just like that. It'll move for you. It's like taking the rubber part of your framing hammer and knocking your woodwork in, because you can't do it with your hand, you'll hurt it, and nothing else will move it. You just tap it, it moves it sufficiently right where you want it. Okay, and now, by the way, if you're using thin wallpaper, it doesn't mean that it's cheap. You have to keep changing your blades, because once this paper gets wet, it gets saturated, and it very easily tears. So I'm finding that every single cut that I make, I have to change my blade, because the paper is so wet that it actually tears, even with a new blade if I'm not careful. I'm lifting this part of my smoother in order to cut it. If I press down with my smoother on this side, the paper is so wet that this can tear into it, okay? So I'm lifting it. You may not see it, but this is essentially what I'm doing. I'm just using the front edge of this thing because it's easier to pull from the forward edge. There you go. You see the rip? It did it. And this is you saw it's a brand new blade. So this is how you fix it. Okay. Now, if you don't think this happens to professionals, you're dead wrong. Now, I want them to see exactly this repair. They can't even see it. Okay, you just saw it rip on me. And if yours rips, do not replace the entire sheet and waste your money. Mend that thing back together, use your fingers, and don't overdo it. And you too will have a beautiful installation. Once that dries, it's completely in line. Don't forget, when you're using paper, the edges are going to show darkness because this is saturating fluid. You don't see it over here because it's under it. But on the edge, you're going to see it. Once these seams are dry, you don't see them anymore. That's the beauty of this paper. So there you have it. That's how you get rid of misalignments in paper. If it's a manufacturing defect, it's not going to work. This is in case the wall is bowed and you have a little misalignment, and it's not going to work for more than 3/16 tops, 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch is a lot, except if you're using vinyl. Vinyl will stretch, you can do wonders with that, but we don't have vinyl here. I hope you learned something from this video. This is Spencer Colgan. You can reach me at www.spencercolgan.com, or you can reach me on YouTube, my Wallpaper television show, which is probably what you're watching me on now, at Spencer Colgan YouTube channel, or Instagram, Spencer Colgan at Instagram. And now I will turn you over to my sponsor. Thanks for watching. Click on like, subscribe to my channel, and hit the little notification bell. Do me a favor, make a comment in the comment section below. That's what helps me make more videos. I will keep providing them. I appreciate all the feedback. If you think I did a great job, a terrible job, just let me know. Tell me how you did yours. Thanks for watching.